guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. If you've got the chance and you're so inclined, please subscribe below and feel free to hit the bell notification if you'd like to be notified when I upload new content. Today I wanted to go over an updated video and kind of look at my top 10 fifth pocket knives going into 2023. I did a video several months ago on my top 5 fifth pocket knives, and a little bit of that's changed, but when I was going through my collection I figured let's just look at the top 10 and start out right out of the gate with the CJRB Ria. It is one of the older knives in my collection. It is a small drop point that has just fantastic detent. Got some spotting on there. I need to clean it up a little bit, but it is in 12C 27 MOV, something like that. So it's not a very high quality steel. However, it wasn't an expensive knife. It was under $30. I know it was under $40. Steel liner lock, has inset liners, G10 handles. Needs a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of love. It does only have the thumb stud on the one side, which would be one drawback of it, but it flips so well and pops out of the pocket or out of the handle with so much authority that I think it's a great little knife, and I find it a joy to carry. The pocket clip is very friendly to the pocket. It is deep carry, and it perfectly fits a fifth pocket and rides it right up to the top. So it's slimmer and shorter and makes just a fantastic fifth pocket knife, and that is number 10, the CJRB Ria. In the same vein of the CJRB Ria, we've got another longer knife in terms of fifth pocket carry knives, but still plenty of room in the fifth pocket to carry this knife comfortably. And this is the Civivi, or the Kaiser Begliter II. It's when Kaiser revamped the Begliter, offered it in a few different materials. Micarta was one of those materials. Did the reverse Tanto, if that's what you want to call it, and did an upgrade in their ball bearing system to make these guys, instead of being on washers, just be some of the droppiest small knives in the game. The Begliter, or Begliter, whatever you want to call it, is a super sharp, slicey little knife that I find to be very handy to carry as a fifth pocket knife or as an additional carry, backup carry. It's got jimping where you need it, but it's not too textured, too heavy. Really just gives you one grip, but it's the only grip you really need. And I like this knife not only to fidget with, but to carry, because it's a great little slicer. It's a great cutter, and it'll get me through anything that I need a fifth pocket carry knife for. Again, great pocket clip, very pocket friendly, and slides down in that fifth pocket and rides it all the way to the bottom. So number 9 would be our Kaiser Mini Begliter. Moving on to there, we go to a little bit different knife, and that is the SOG Ultra XR. This is the thinnest knife in my collection. It can be used as a money clip, but I don't roll that way because I don't carry a lot of cash, since everything we do is with our iPhones. But for a fifth pocket carry knife, this knife disappears in your pocket. The pocket clip is very forgiving, has great retention, goes right in my fifth pocket, and then literally disappears. I don't even feel that it's there. It uses the SOG version of the axis lock. It does have a deployment hole, or you can deploy it, or deployment slot, or you can deploy it with the axis lock or the bar style lock. I'm a middle finger flicker, so that's the way I like to deploy it. Super thin blade stock, fantastic jimping, very thin handle, very sharp, even grind, and again, S35 VN blade steel, coated blade, and just what I look at as a great little fifth pocket carry knife. And that's what I bring in at number 7. That's the SOG Ultra XR and S35 VN. Moving on from there, we'll do a little bit of a diversion, and I think it's one of the only or one of the few automatics I've brought onto the channel, and this is my Kershaw Launch number 4, which is a tiny little dagger knife with a super deep carry clip, USA made, fits like a dream in my fifth pocket, and is a snappy little auto with, again, a sharp, stabby, splinter remover type blade, but it's very slicey, so it gets into packages very well, makes utility cuts very well, comes in really handy as a fifth pocket knife, one hand closing all day long, and plenty of snap. It's not a knife that I'd want to process a lot of cardboard with, but that's why I carry more than one fixed blade, right? I mean, or one fifth carry knife, regular pocket knife, and usually a fixed blade. So coming in at number 6, great little automatic that I've really been pleased with. I've had in my collection for quite a while, and for a fifth carry knife, it does a great job, and that's the Kershaw Launch 4. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Coming in at number 6, I wanted to share what I think is a cool little knife, and this is the Finch Lucky 13, and this is the DLT Trading Company's version of the Finch Lucky 13 in that shred carbon fiber. This has a great little Warncliffe sheep's footy blade, super short blade with several different hand grips. For a fifth pocket carry knife, it's got hardy blade stock. I can handle everything from whittling, wood, boxes, rope, anything that I would need to cut. This little knife's up to the task. It doesn't have a deep carry clip, but it goes into the pocket about that far, and in your fifth pocket, it goes in and out with ease. Fits down in there just great. And that is one of my favorite Finches. I love the 1929. It's a little big for the fifth pocket carry, but this Lucky 13's action is very similar to the 1929, which is one of my favorite Finches. And these guys are made in 154 cm, has a great bolster lock, and just a fun little knife, and a knife that I love carrying as a fifth pocket carry knife. So as we move on to the top 5 in our collection, which really we're going to have one curveball thrown in here, and I apologize for that. I'm not very good at counting. This is the Civivi Baby Banter. You guys know this is my size comparison knife when I'm doing, see how they compare to the Cold Steel 4MAX, see how they compare to the Baby Banter. The Baby Banter really should have a position higher than number 5 because it is just about perfect for a fifth pocket carry knife. I love this little knife so much so that I had a good friend of mine who was watching one of the videos and saw the Baby Banter that I used to have and asked, where he could find one. And being a knife guy and seeing that he was a knife guy, I wanted just to pass it along to him. But I immediately picked up a replacement Banter. I'd kind of been wanting one in micarta, so I was able to grab this one with a Nitro V blade. Super slicey, super cutty, has a great handle that really works well with a built-in choil, and just a knife that I can't say enough nice things about. It's a Civivi that I can honestly say will always have a place in my collection, as will my wee Banter. And if I ever get a full-size Banter, it's not because I need it. It's not because the design language blows my socks off. It's because they're great little knives. So number 5, we have the Savivi Baby Banter. Moving on, a newer knife in the collection, and it is the Lil Native. And this is the Lil Native that was the Knife Joy edition for breast cancer recovery, and it came with pink G10 scales. The G10 on those scales were some of the best G10 and are some of the best G10 that I've felt on a knife, and on a Spyderco specifically, they were very grippy. I wanted to upgrade to micarta scales, so I upgraded these Rips Garage Tech micarta scales. They feel great. This knife is in S45VN because Spyderco just started adding S45VN to their line instead of the S30V. Has a great flick, has great compression lock action. I love the wire clip. If I ever got tired of it or didn't, I could replace it with a Lynch clip. But for a 5th pocket knife, it goes in and out of pocket with ease, and it's a knife that I know when I need to deploy it, it's going to be up for slicing, it's going to be up for cutting, it's got plenty of blade stock to get the job done, and I just know it's up for the challenge. So at number 4, we have got the Lil Native. Actually, number 3. No, that was number 4. All right, number 3 is not a folder at all. Number 3 are these little pocket droppers, which are the MKM Maniago knife makers, and they've got a magnet in them. That's why they look like they're being controlled by ghosts. Maniago knife makers, Micro 1 and Micro 2. I've shown you guys these knives and how they kind of revolutionized my carry game when I went to add a fixed blade to my daily rotation. These knives do typically ride on my belt. I've also got carry kits for them, but with these little leather sheaths, I've noticed that I'll grab one if I'm carrying something in my left pocket that's a little larger, or I'm carrying something on my belt and I still want to carry a micro, that this drops in my 5th pocket just perfectly. In its leather sheath, it is an absolute perfect 5th pocket carry knife. Even though it's not a folder, it's small enough. I've got a sheep's foot and a drop point, and the retention is not going anywhere on these knives. The magnetic clasp holds them in place. Once I drop it in my pocket, it's not going anywhere. So number 3 is, as the magnets push each other away, number 3 are the possessed MKM Micro 1 and Micro 2. Guys, these little knives, and I know I've pointed them out before and y'all are getting tired of hearing it, have some of the best jimping. They're designed by Jasper Voxness. They have perfect balance. If you can tell, that's just, whoops, I moved my finger. It balances right on my finger. Whoops. If I don't move my hand. But it's got jimping for the ball of my hand. It's got a lanyard loop for a doodad. And it's got just, again, great jimping. And that is the Micro 1, which is the drop point, and the Micro 2, which is the sheep's foot. Moving on to number 2. Whoops. Just had an earthquake here. Let me move my screen. Coming in at number 2 is a knife that's newer to my collection that I can carry as a primary carry, but it also goes in my 5th pocket with ease and fills it out perfectly. And that is the Hinderer Halftrack. The Hinderer Halftrack is a fantastic little knife. It's a Warncliffe. So from a utilitarian standpoint, it's probably definitely my hardest use 5th carry knife. It's in MagnaCut. It is super slicey. It has multiple grips, from just a traditional grip to a very functional choil that allows me to get into position to do any type of cut that I could possibly want to do, from pull cuts to push cuts to slices, you name it. The Hinderer Halftrack is a great knife. It was a knife that I was a little bit reluctant to buy because I felt like it might be a little too small. Guys, I am so glad I was wrong. This knife is perfect sized. It is smaller than the 3-inch XM18s, but for a 5th pocket carry, or for that matter, even a primary carry, it is the bomb. And that is the Hinderer Halftrack in MagnaCut and titanium with a G10 scale that will be replaced sooner than later. Going to number 1 in the 5th pocket carry, it is the TRM Nerd. You have the traditional Nerd, and then we have the updated Holy Nerd. The knives are identical in blade style, they're identical in handle style, they're identical in clip and how they carry. The only difference is they now have a deployment hole as opposed to just a thumb roll and reverse flickable, but not as reliably of a thumb impression there, or depression. But this knife, guys, or these knives, are built to be carried just like that, held just like that. You can choke back on it if you want to get a 3-finger grip, but I feel comfortable holding it just like that in the cutting choil. It has got a 3/4 inch grind, or 3/4 blade grind, that comes down to a super slicey edge. It's 20 CV, both of them are. Both of them will slice through anything. They are an ultra thin knife, just like the Neutron and the Atom, and they go in a 5th pocket like a dream. Deep carry clips, so they disappear in your 5th pocket. This denim micarta, you don't even see it when it's in my pocket. And the same with this Halloween micarta. It just literally disappears. And it slices like a dream. When I'm looking for an EDC knife and I'm looking for a 5th pocket carry knife, most of my tasks that I run into are slicing. Cutting, minor cutting tasks. The Hinderer is great because I know if I need to hard use it, I can hard use it. Spyderco, Civivi, they're just all great knives, guys. And when you're looking at small knives, there are a lot of knives that are in my collection that are small EDC knives that didn't make this list, that very well could have made this list, like the CJRB Ria. It is a fantastic knife. But when you're trying to bring it down, this was going to start out as my updated top 5, but I didn't feel that I was doing it justice, because even though I had all the folders, I have been carrying these two guys in their leather slips in my 5th pocket quite a bit, and I didn't want to leave them out. They're great 5th pocket knives. If you don't put them on your belt as a little clip and go, it makes for a great pocket dropper, and it makes for a fantastic 5th pocket dropper. Guys, thank you for stopping by and watching the video. If you stuck with me this long, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. Feel free to give me a like or a dislike or a comment or not a comment. But please do look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please go forward with love in your heart and choose debate over hate. I love you all. Peace.